Hey y'all, Patrick here, and today we're going to talk about NAMM, or really not NAMM 2021. And even though there's no expo this year, that doesn't mean that there aren't new basses. A lot of companies over the past week or two have gone ahead and just released some of their 2021 lineup. So you know what? Even though there's no show, let's go ahead and see what basses are new for 2021. And so first up we have Aria. Now I don't have any experience with this brand before, but I know there's a very loyal fan base. And when this Jet B got announced, there was a lot of fans really just clamoring over it. So there has to be something good, right? So right off the bat, it reminds me of the Ibanez Talman line, as well as that Matt Bellamy Cort guitar, but it's kind of really cool. I'm digging the curves on it, and it's 32 inches, so medium scale, and it just says 3 colors, 3-tone sunburst, black, and see-through vintage white. Other than that, there's no details at all. So we just have a jazz style bass in a completely different form. I can dig it. Next up, we have Charvel, and y'all, they blew me away. I've never really known that much about Charvel, but wow. They have the Pro Mod San Dimas PJ4 and the Pro Mod San Dimas J-Bass 5, and man, just the colors they're in are so cool. The PJ4 series comes in these really bright colors. You have the lime green metallic, and they have that sparkle to them too. I don't know what that's about, but I'm digging it, as well as the mystic blue. But oh, the 5-string is so rad. It comes in candy apple red metallic, as well as what is to me such a beautiful color, the Lambo green metallic. I love that dark green, especially with the roasted maple neck too. And man, and there's some really awesome features on these basses too, like the Luminlay side dots, the DiMarzio pickups, as well as the Charvel high mass bridge too. And with the street price of $1,000, like, you can't beat that. There's so many features on this, and I bet it's so awesome. I really want to try and get one of these on the channel for sure. Next up with Cort, we have the A5 Beyond, which is their multi-scale single cut bass. And it's not my style usually, but I'm really digging this bass. I think it's just that natural open pore color of it. Man, it looks so good. It has an ash body as well as a Bubinga top, and neck through construction. It's a 5-piece neck that just looks so good, as well as hip shot tuners. And even though they're not my personal favorite, it comes with Bartolini pickups and a preamp as well. And it's a multi-scale too, which I love. It's a 34 to 35.5 inch scale, which I know a lot of people are set on 37s being perfect, but I think 35s can still work too. Then you have the A5 Ultra Ash, which is just, oh, it looks really good. I love this style. It reminds me of a wall, to be honest. You have a mahogany body, a beautiful ash top, as well as Fishman Fluence pickups. That's that good stuff right there. Neck through construction, as well as hip shot bridge and tuners too. So this is definitely stacked in terms of features. And then for their more affordable range, they have the C4 Plus, which again has that really awesome shape that I love. And it has a mahogany body, an oven cool top, as well as Bartolini pickups and a bolt-on Canadian maple neck. I want to try a Cort. I really want to try a Cort, especially that multi-scale one. Just looks so good. Eastwood Guitars has announced the Tiger Bass, which is essentially the bass version of their version of Jerry Garcia's guitar. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Not exactly my preferred style, but still, I love the double P pickups on it. It's set neck, 32-inch scale, maple body, walnut top, and 24 frets. But I bet that double P pickup configuration is just, God, I bet it sounds so good and so stacked too. Next up is Music Man by Ernie Ball. Now, they haven't announced any new models, I think, yet. I bet later in the year they might announce 1 or 2. I don't know, but that'd be really awesome. But they did announce a whole new range of colors. Basically, the old 2020 colors are out, and the new 2021 colors are in. And man, some of them are just, oh God, they're so cool. Starting with the Amethyst Sparkle, you can't not love it. I mean, come on. It looks like it was made specifically for Bootsy to play. Bootsy, get one, please. You have to. There's no way it wasn't based on Bootsy or Prince, or hell, both of them. Next up is the very straightforward classic black. Man, just classic, vintage, love it. The Texan in me, of course, loves this finish, which is called Burnt Ends. If you don't know what burnt ends are, it's probably one of the best things that's ever happened on the planet, and you should try and get some really good barbecue, but it has to be actually good barbecue, okay? Frost Green Pearl. This is the one. I look at that. It looks so good, y'all. The Raspberry Burst, which is different, but I'm really digging how dark it is. And speaking of dark, you have Smoked Chrome, which is just like the coolest thing and almost kind of looks like a silver burst. And This is so awesome to me. Snowy Night, which just really reminds me of Game of Thrones, so I'm all about it, and I love the fact that it has that matching headstock too. And finally is Speed Blue, and man, I just love how that blue just pops. So between the Speed Blue and that Frost Green Pearl, I'm stuck. And you know what? That Amethyst Sparkle too, just throw that one in the hat. And real quick, while we're in the Music Man family, Sterling by Music Man has 2 new finishes as well. For the Ray 34 Poplar Burl, I have the black satin one, and now they've announced the Neptune Blue Satin. Look at this thing. That is so rad. And then for the Ray 34 and 35 HH, you have the natural burl satin. Oh my God. It is just incredible to me how good these 2 new finishes look, and they really stand out too. So bravo, Sterling. Bravo. Next up from Epiphone, they're bringing back the Embassy bass. I've never really seen these before, but my buddy Johnny Dibble made a video over one, and they seem pretty rad to me. The body style itself is really cool in my opinion, and those humbucker pickups just look really, really cool to me, and I bet they just have a nice thick tone too. You have a mahogany body, a set mahogany neck, as well as those dual humbuckers. It's a very straightforward bass, but I can really dig it, especially in the finishes that they announced for it. You have graphite black, which is pretty standard, but from here you have this smoked almond metallic. What is that? That looks so good. Then you have the sparkling burgundy, which I love that how rich and deep that burgundy looks too. And then the Wonderlust green metallic. This is just so vintage looking. It's so cool. Next up from ESP, they announced 2 new LTD models, which are reissues as far as I'm aware. They have the M4, which is just like straightforward rock machine, as well as the LTD Phoenix 1004, which has a really, really awesome Thunderbird vibe to it. I'd like to see it in a different color other than black personally, but hey, to each their own. Next up with Fender, they announced the Jazz bass and they announced the P bass 75th anniversary and 2 different finishes, and I think one's USA made and the other one's made in Mexico, and that's it. That's all they announced. And the Squires get nothing. There are no new Squires, which is really weird, and Fender, you can do better. Like, what are you doing? Come on. And then moving from one disappointment to another disappointment, we have Gibson. I mean, they announced something which is really cool, but it's kind of weird. So they announced they're partnering up with Gene Simmons to make a line of basses, I guess maybe 1 or 2 different ones a year, starting with signature Thunderbird. So ones they've already made, they just come in different finishes now, pretty much, as well as what's really cool is the non-reverse Thunderbirds they're bringing back, but they're not on Gibson's website, which is very strange to me, but it's still cool that they're making them though. They're going to be available in these 3 awesome finishes, which is Inverness Green, Pelham Blue, which is, you know, I'm a sucker for Pelham Blue, and then this Sparkling Burgundy, which again, from that Epiphone Embassy, that's such an awesome color. I don't know why they're not on the website. It's probably going to be a $1,800 bass that has a 3-point bridge. There's nothing really special about it. I just feel they could have done so much more, but I guess that's Gibson's new slogan anyway, and they don't care about basses normally. I don't know. I love non-reverse Thunderbirds. Regular Thunderbirds, I'm kind of hit or miss, but the non-reverse ones are just so cool to me. It's just, there's nothing new, you know? They're just kind of redoing it all over again. But I guess some bass is better than no bass. Next up, we have the powerhouse of a brand known as Ibanez, and I'm pretty sure they've done the best this year so far. Like, as far as I can tell, because man, they have some heavy hitters this year. Starting with the EHB 1000S. So this is the short scale version of the EHB series that was introduced last year. And this is so cool to me. It comes in this wicked seafoam green matte, as well as this pink gold metallic matte. Oh my God, I love that finish. So you have a headless short scale bass that is 24 frets, and I bet it is so awesome. But what's crazy is Ibanez just sort of went for it, and they made the EHB 1005 SMS. It's a fan fret short scale headless bass. Ibanez is just throwing it in there saying, hey, take this. And it's really cool. I don't know how it'll work if you want to have it BEADG. I imagine that E through C would work better for the short scale because it's a 30 to 32 inch. And I honestly don't know how a low B on a 32 inch bass is going to sound or feel, but I really, really want to try one. And next up, they have the BTB 1836 Premium. Now, I've talked smack about the BTB series before, but I really, really, really want to try this bass. I mean, look how exquisite it looks, and you know it's gonna be nothing but quality too. You have a neck through 6-string bass that has Aguilar pickups, and just, oh, there's gotta be so many tonal options on it. And I'm just imagine it feels so good too. And then you have the SR1605 DW in the coolest finish I think I've ever seen in my life, which is the Autumn Sunset Sky. Sounds very peaceful. But this bass looks like it can raise hell though. You have that African mahogany body with that beautiful poplar burl top. I cannot get over this finish, y'all. A 5-piece Panga Panga neck as well as Aguilar pickups too. Like, this thing's a powerhouse. And finally, the SR1305 SB in this beautiful Magic Wave low gloss. That's just such a rad finish to have on a bass. That sandblasted ash top, oh, it looks so cool. And then on top of that, you have Nordstrom big break pickups too, so you know it's gonna sound thick. And now we have Jackson. Now, I made a video about a certain Jackson bass last week. I still love it and hate it at the same time, and I still really want to try it. I'm of course talking about the X Series concert bass CBXNT DX4. You know, Jackson's take on a Rickenbacker, or whatever you want to call it, a Jackson-backer, a Send-It-Backer if you would. But seriously, Jackson, call me. Let's work something out for this bass. And then they also announced new Spector series basses and finishes, which look really cool, but I can't get over the fact that the Spector series just kind of seems like their take on Ibanez's, to be honest. Like, it has a pretty blatant resemblance to the SR series. I mean, look at it. I'm sure these basses are super awesome, but you know, I need to try a Jackson first. Come on, Jackson, hit me up. From Kiesel, they announced the DD4 Dustin Davidson signature headless bass, and this is awesome, y'all. I don't really know a whole lot about August Burns Red. Heard a couple songs here and there, and they're heavy, so I imagine this bass is also going to sound pretty damn heavy. It's a headless bass that has a walnut body, walnut neck, royal ebony fretboard, as well as that sick signature inlay they have on the 12th fret. That is so cool. It has lumen lace side dots as well as their own single coil pickups and active EQ as well. And it comes in 2 finishes, either Aurora Blue or whatever the hell this red color is. And I love that red one. From our friends in Germany, Sandberg, they announced the Martin Mendez Signature California, and this thing looks really, really awesome. This is the signature bass for Martin Mendez of Opeth, and it's the California style, so the J-bass style, which is a European alder body with a Canadian hard rock maple 6-bolt neck, 22 frets ebony fretboard, as well as 34-inch scale for the 4-string, 35-inch scale for the 5-string. That comes in 2 finishes, virgin white soft aged, or black matte. And not only are the looks really cool, but it comes with Delano pickups. And man, I bet because of those Delanos, it just sounds so good. Then last but certainly not least by any means is Spector. And Spector blew it out of the water this year, especially because of the Dimension series, y'all. Oh, I think this is something that a lot of people have been wanting and have been expecting Spector to do, and now they finally released it. And man, they got to the gate and they just blew right past it, because these just look absolutely incredible. It's their first multi-scale bass. Both the 4 and 5-string versions have a scale of 34 to 37, so you're gonna get that nice tension all the way through to your lowest note, all the way to your highest. Then you have a swamp ash body with a poplar burl top, as well as a neck through maple and Wingate neck that has a Wingate fingerboard too, Fishman pickups, and oh, it just, everything about it sounds so perfect. And the 2 finishes that they're offering, which is Haunted Moss Matte as well as Super Faded Black Gloss, just complement it so perfectly. Then you have the Ethos series, which has that classic Spector body style. They come in both a 4 and 5-string variety. In 2 finishes, you have Interstellar Gloss. Yeah, that's awesome. As well as the Super Faded Black Gloss. And then finally, you have the Pulse series, which 4 and 5-string varieties, as well as 2 different finishes that are both sandblasted, and they look so good. You have Charcoal Gray as well as the Cinder Red, and that Cinder Red to me is to die for. And to me, Spector and Ibanez are the true frontrunners, and really the lineup from these 2 brands are just absolutely killer. Like, these are showstopper basses. But of course, that is my opinion on some of these announcements so far this year. And I want to know which ones you guys love, which one you guys hate. But y'all, thank you so much as always for watching, for liking, subscribing, for sharing, for following me on social media, all those things. And a humongous thank you to my Patreon supporters as well. And if you want to be like one of these beautiful people right here and be included in things like early access to videos, giveaways, and more, head over to my Patreon page. But y'all, I'm pretty sure this is only the tip of the iceberg in terms of bass announcements, so let's keep our eyes peeled and let's just see what happens. But of course, until then, stay safe, practice that bass, and I'll see y'all next time.